Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'll be taking a look at the new sim racing wheel and pedals from Logitech. This is the Pro wheel. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links. Now Logitech has always been known for their entry-level budget racing wheels, but they've finally entered into the higher end of the sim racing market with this new direct drive wheelbase. So I'll be showing you around both the Pro racing wheel and Pro racing pedals, setting them up on my sim cockpit and testing it out to see how well it performs, and giving you any pros and cons, so hopefully you have an idea if it's worth getting or not. Let's start by unboxing this to see what you get inside the packaging. But before I begin, let me know in the comments if you currently own a racing wheel, and if so, which one. And if you're new to the channel, hope you can support me by subscribing and hitting the bell icon to be notified on my next release. Inside the packaging of the Pro wheel, you get a sheet of paper with safety info and a card promoting Logitech G Challenge, a Logitech G sticker, and some instructions. The Pro racing wheel, the Pro racing wheel base, a UK power cable with a kettle connector, a US power cable with a kettle connector, a micro USB to USB-A cable, a power adapter with a DC connector, and a desk mount clamp. Taking a closer look at the wheelbase, it's pretty heavy, weighing 7 kilograms, and is capable of providing 11 Newton meters of torque. It has a maximum rotation of 1080 degrees, and it's a direct drive wheelbase, meaning it contains a motor to provide feedback directly to the user. The outer shell is made entirely of strong plastic, and they've gone for a non-traditional design over the majority of direct drive wheelbases out there, which have more of a boxy or rectangular design with an aluminium metal outer shell. At the front of the wheelbase, you have the connection point for the wheel, which uses a quick release mechanism. Above that, you have some LEDs for the rev counter and a small display with a button next to it to allow you to view the menu. You can make changes directly to the wheelbase without using Logitech's G Hub software. Below that, we have an on-off button. On the sides, you have the Logitech G logo. There's also Pro written on top and just below the mount point for the wheel. And this is removable to allow you to install the desk clamp. At the back you have the air vent, and above that you have TrueForce, which works with the dynamics of the car to give a more realistic racing experience. Below that you have the micro USB port, and the other end connects to your PC or gaming console. Next to that we have 3 USB ports, and this is where you'd plug in your pedals, and finally a DC input. The wheelbase can be mounted directly onto a sim cockpit or a desk using the clamp provided. To attach the clamp, you just pull off the cover below the front of the wheelbase and push the clamp into place. You can open the clamp a maximum of 5.5 centimeters wide, and once you've placed it on your desk, you just tighten up the clamp, and then attaching the wheel, you can see the wheelbase stays firmly in place. Onto the Pro racing wheel, it has a D-shaped design which is 300 millimeters in diameter and made of metal with a brushed finish. It's finished in perforated leather all the way round, which is soft to touch and feels comfortable in your hands with a metal center marker on the top. You have a number of different controls on the wheel which are ergonomically placed so everything is at close reach when driving. The PlayStation buttons used for selecting has been split up on the left and right, and you've got a joystick for navigation instead of a D-pad. Lower down you have 2 turn knobs together with other buttons. All the buttons, turn knobs and joysticks have a really good feel to them. Coming around the back, you've got the quick release mechanism, allowing you to quickly swap wheels in and out in a matter of seconds. But at this moment in time, Logitech G don't have any additional wheels, but I'm sure they'll be introducing some new ones in the future. Then we have the paddle shifters and dual clutch paddles. The top half of the shifters are magnetic, providing quick and precise shifting, while the bottom half are spring-loaded, which allow you to control the clutch with a nice feel when you press down. And they're a nice comfortable distance away from the wheel. Moving on to the Pro racing pedals. Inside the box you get a sheet explaining how to grease the pedals. There's a micro USB to USB-A cable, a Logitech sticker with some instructions, a box containing some replacement springs, and another one containing some dampeners for the brake, some grease, and an Allen key. And finally the Pro racing pedals. The plate holding the pedals is made of strong plastic with the G logo at the top and Pro below the pedals. There's 3 pedals, so an accelerator, brake and clutch, constructed of metal with a solid build quality. Each of the pedal plates can be easily adjusted in terms of positioning on the holding plate, with the adjusters for this being underneath. I like how there's a measure on both the top and bottom, allowing you to accurately line up the pedals when adjusting, or you could even just remove one of the pedals if you just wanted an accelerator and brake. So there's lots of adjustability. It's even possible to remove all the pedals and mount them inverted on a sim cockpit. Both the accelerator and clutch are spring loaded, and the brake has a 100 kilogram load cell sensor to give a more realistic braking experience. The packaging comes with a couple of replacement springs for the accelerator and clutch, together with a selection of rubber dampeners, all providing various degrees of tension. And the nice thing here is that you can easily make these adjustments without any tools. Just pull out the lower part and the spring can easily be swapped, and for the brake you'd pull off and twist off the blue cap, and under there you'll find the dampeners. Underneath you've got some rubber pads and screw holes for attaching to the sim cockpit. There's also a micro USB connection point where the other end is connected to the wheelbase, or directly to a PC if you wanted to use it with a different wheelbase. With the pedals, they've gone for a non-traditional design over the majority of Pro pedals, which are generally made entirely of steel, but nevertheless the build quality is excellent. Let's get this set up on my sim cockpit, which is from Trak Racer. This is the TR120, and my screen is the LG OLED C1. That's 55 inches in size. I've got a screen attached to a monitor stand, which is also from Trak Racer. The pedal plate is easy to attach to the sim cockpit via the mounting points underneath. Just remember to plug in the micro USB cable first, then attach. But with the wheelbase, you're limited to just deck mounting, unlike the majority of direct drive wheelbases where you have multiple mount options. And it's interesting to see that even with the deck mounting, you're not able to get to all the holes due to the rubber bumper at the front that's angled for desk mounting, which gets in the way. So I was only able to use 2 rear screws, but that's more than sufficient to securely attach it. Now I can plug in the micro USB cable to the wheelbase, and I've plugged the other end into my PS5. Next, plug in the USB cable from the pedals to the wheelbase, and finally just plug in the DC power. Turning on the wheelbase, you'll see the display turns on, and this allows you to select the device you're connected to. So in my case, it's the PS5. So let's jump into a race and see how well this performs. The racing experience is really impressive. The wheelbase is very quiet, and even after playing for a few hours, it's silent. But just to note, this is with the TrueForce switched off. But if you had it on, you can hear some noises coming from the wheelbase, and obviously this is to do with the TrueForce immersion. It feels really smooth, refined, and gives a lot of detail from bumps, curbs, and the track itself. The torque levels feel very strong compared to both the Fanatec CSL DD and Moza R9. You can feel the force feedback accurately from the track as you're going around corners, so it feels very realistic. But one of the main differences between the Pro wheel and the other direct drive wheelbases on the market is the TrueForce, where the experience in the in-game physics, road conditions, and motor vibrations, and I can feel the vibrations coming through to the sim frame, adding to the immersion, giving quite a good experience. The intensity is controllable too via the wheelbase or the G-Hub software on a PC, but it's only supported on certain games, and you can get this list from Logitech's website. There's lots of customization available on the wheelbase from the inbuilt menus, allowing you to tweak the wheelbase to your preference to get the optimum racing experience. Moving on to the wheel, and it feels incredible, with a comfortable feel when driving, and the controls on the wheel are easy to reach to. The paddle shifters have an excellent feel to them, and I really like the clicky sound coming from them when shifting, giving quite a satisfying feel when shifting up or down through the gears. It's not too loud, so if you're worried about it disturbing someone in another room, it shouldn't do. The pedals feel good and precise underfoot with no flex on them. The clutch feels good when using it, and the brake pedal with the 100 kilogram load cell sensor works really well and feels more precise than the previous range of pedals from Logitech, feeling solid and rigid, giving a realistic braking experience. The accelerator feels smooth and retracts back really well when transitioning to the brake pedal. Overall, the experience does feel awesome, and it's the perfect upgrade if you wanted to move on from the entry-level G29, G920 or the G923. The wheelbase works on both a PC and console. There's 2 versions available, like with the previous Logitech wheels, where it's either PC and Xbox or PC and PlayStation, which is a version I have. To get it working on a PC, just install the Logitech G-Hub software, and going in there, this allows you to tweak various settings on both the wheel and pedals. Then you can just launch your game and start playing. Performance with a PC is just as good as it is with a console, but obviously the advantage of a PC is that you're able to use an ultra-wide monitor or a triple screen setup depending on the spec of your PC, which isn't possible with a console. So in summary, I'm blown away by the Logitech Pro wheel and Pro pedals built to an excellent standard, competing at the mid-range spectrum of the sim racing market. The pedals are solid and feel really good quality, and I love the fact you can easily adjust without needing any tools. I'm really impressed with the brake pedal and the 100 kilogram load cell sensor, giving a realistic braking experience. The steering wheel is really well made and has an impressive build quality, and with the 11 Newton meters of torque from the wheelbase, this does feel incredible. And with their TrueForce support adding to the immersion, which is not available on other direct drive wheelbases like Fanatec or Moza, there's PC and console support is available on both Xbox and PlayStation, which is a big positive. Negatives wise, it's not cheap, with the wheel and wheelbase costing $1,000 or £1,000 in the UK, and the pedals costing $350 or £350 in the UK, which is significantly more than both Fanatec and Moza. But with a Pro wheel, you're getting 11 Newton meters of force feedback, which is significantly more, together with TrueForce. Like the previous generations of Logitech wheels, support is either PC and Xbox or PC and PlayStation. So if you wanted to play on both an Xbox and PlayStation, you'd have to buy two separate wheelbases. TrueForce support is great, but unfortunately it's limited to just a few games at the moment, so worth checking this out if you're planning on playing a particular game. The wheelbase looks great, but I felt they really should have gone for a more traditional design to allow for more mounting options, as you're limited to just deck mounting. But I wouldn't say that should be a deal breaker in any way. So there you have it, you've come to the end of another video, and I hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing this. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links. And let me know in the comments if you want to see a comparison with the Fanatec GT Pro and Moza R9. And if you're still here, drop a pro in the comments, as it's nice to see who's made it to the end of my videos. And if you've enjoyed today's video, check out my review of the Fanatec GT Pro video next. You can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook and Twitter. And if you're new to the channel, hope you can support me by subscribing and hitting the bell icon to be notified of my next release. Thanks for viewing, and see you in the next one.